because I had, even in childhood I had come here to, with my father, where we had met Gopal Krishna Adiga. And even Shankar Mukhashi was also here for some time, if I remember. So we had met him. So all those memories. And then in North Kendra district, if somebody falls ill, he has to be brought to Manipal only. Always. So anybody, any sickness, my father was not well in 90s, and I was here in TMAPI hospital in Udupi for 4 months, 5 months on post. Then my mother was not well, here only, for almost 1 month I was there. Then my daughter was admitted here for PhD. So it was almost 5 years, I think. So at that time we used to come, me and Smita, regularly. All this tiger circle, this everything became like our extension of our mental space. And there are so many people here who have been so kind and loving to her. K.P. Raoji is here, Faniraj is here. The entire space is so dear. And Manohar Naik, who has made his space in Manipal now since the last 2 years. And Dr. Maina, he was the one who did medical service for social cause in Bombay for 20 years. She treated all poor patients from slums without taking a pay. And she was in Goregaon, I think, Kandivali, Goregaon. She is here now since last 20 years. See, Manipal is like, hospital. So hospital is a recurring theme in my writings. I don't want to talk about my writing. I think it's again vulgar. A writer should never talk about his work. It's different. So, but these hospitals are a very interesting, short stories, poems. Wherever you go, there is hospital, because I find hospital is a very spiritual space. It is the only space where man is recognized not by his Aadhaar card or his caste or creed or anything, but patient number 201. And whatever happens in operation theatre is real yajna. There is the person, there is a pulmonologist, there is a heart specialist, there is the anesthesia, there is a surgeon, everybody, nobody knows, nobody can identify anybody, everybody is this thing, and patient number 203. And they are trying to understand his pain and trying to save him. This is all about culture and art also. What literature or any art does is that only. Like in medical science, there is a heart specialist, there is a skin specialist, there is some other specialist. In art, there are multiple specialists, but collectively they are trying to understand human plight, human predicament, human pain, and trying to reduce it. So, and any other university, the university has a separate campus. But Manipal, always Sarjana, my daughter says, see, Manipal is the only place where a city and university is merged. Absolutely, it's all like nice, very well. So you can't say that the main gate, you don't go there, nothing like that. Everybody can hear. So that it's a liberating space and multilingual space, because students come from all the parts of India. And I like that multilingual sensibility, because that's what I got addicted to in Bombay, multilingual sensibility. So all these things, so I like this space. And when you are in hospital, you go through a lot of things. Suddenly, so much so, if you are in a hospital with somebody for some time, your world will change and you will decide that, I remember Amitabh Bachchan saying it. He went through a lot of ailments. Once he was hit during a shooting, he was in hospital for 2 months, then everything, entire India prayed for him. And again he went sometimes after some years. But then he says in one interview, see, every time when he came out of hospital, the day of his release, he decided, it seems, from tomorrow my life is dedicated for the humanity, for everybody who prayed for me, for everybody who served me. But he says, after a couple of days, I became the same old, horrible, thankless person. See, that's what it is. So, art is also a similar space. It has to humanize us. Then only you can see people with the right kind of perspective. That's why I like medical space and art and music and everything. That's because when you are in art, you just look at a human world, and it's very interesting human world. I mean, like I will tell one incident only before we go, because it's very interesting. When my father was admitted here, one day in KMPI hospital, I think 25 years ago, one day his past student came to see him. My father was sleeping and I was just holding his hand because there was a trip going there. One past student came, he just saw inside, peeped inside, looked at me, looked at my father and went back. I knew him, I was understanding. I thought he didn't recognize. I went behind him and I said, hey, please, please. He just vanished from the front desk. I don't know why he ran back, I don't know, this thing. After 2 minutes he came with two coconut water, whatever, elnir, bonda. He came with two bonda. Then I thought he forgot and he went, that's why he came. Till now story was good, it was very pleasant, this story is good. Then I told him, Arey yakamare, entakki bekagitte idella? Then he should have said illi. No. When I said yako marya, yak idella tande, he said, illa ninne ಶರತ್ ಕಲ್ಕೋಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದರು ಗೌರೀಶ್ ಕಾಯ್ಕಿಣಿಯವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್. Means he said, yesterday I met some person, he said your father is very terminally ill, not sure, guarantee illa anta. So he first came to see whether he is still there. And then went for bonda. Otherwise bonda would be wasted. Or he has to drink it himself. So this thing, that happened, but such things happen there. There is a, what you call, Prasuti Grahak, English ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಪ್ಪ. Labor hospital in Sirsi. One of my friend is there. She writes, she is an economist, her husband is a doctor. There one poor family in Sirsi. That poor family, what happened is, one poor family, the mother delivered twins. So they are crying. Instead of being happy, the family is crying because twins. Means problem multiplied by 2. So they said, you happy? Khushi aitala, one delivery eradayitu, you got 2 in one shot. So why are you? No, we can't, this thing, we are so poor, this, that. Then the doctors made an end. They said, do one thing. They are a quite philanthropist kind family, the doctor. He said, we will take care of one child. You take one baby home, one baby we will take care. But we will give you 3 to 4 days. But you decide in 3 days. And whichever you like, baby, you take. The twins, like that. And one will keep, we will take care of it. So then these parents and family members, they have only one job from that day, looking at both the babies and which is good. And they liked one baby. They put a thread around its wrist so that they can identify it. So okay, the next day, suddenly next day that another baby looks good. So they removed that thread and put to that baby. Third day again that thread comes here, thread goes there, and fourth day they went home with both the babies. See, this is what it is all. It's not about slotting. It's something else. So that's why medical space is always this thing. And in Bombay, in Nanagod, he is my dear friend. So I used to always go on my weekends when I was in Bombay to sit with him when he's an oncologist, a cancer specialist, and watch him talking to the parents. Because terminally ill patients, it's a different conversation. Like a patient will tell Doctor Saab, February में बेटी की शादी है, तब तक खींचो. See, means it's so casually he's telling, February is the wedding of my daughter, please stretch my life till then. So then this fellow will tell, no, आप तो आपकी बेटी के, you will see your grandson's marriage and go, something like that. So this is the space, then you will realize what we fight outside in society when everything is fine is so meaningless. ನಾಲ್ಕು ಥರದ ಸ್ವೀಟು ಸಾರು ಮದುವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂಪರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈಲಾಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ನನ್ನ ಯಜಮಾನರಿಗೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಪಲ್ಯ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈಲಾಗ್. ಹೂ ರೋಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ the literature for me is a space and mood of thought. It's a space and it's a window to understand life, and life has no structure. Ongoing life is not literary, life is non-literary. We make a literary structure to make sense for ourselves, to understand. So I think I will stop here, and I thank you all. Vardesh, I'll do Thanksgiving now only. So thank you all for whatever I went through. It was wonderful, especially the students talking about the story. It was very heartwarming because each one had his own view, and they were very clear about what they were seeing. So it was very heartwarming and very reassuring. And imagine the story Mithun number 2, I had written it in 1984. That was published in Taranga, which is published from Manipal. And today, a young boy who was not even born at that time, now today he talks about it in English. So this is a very interesting kind of a thing. So it's always reassuring to see how writing comes alive and it takes a new form, new dimension. It gets enriched in a new sensitive reading. Because new generation is very precise always. Whatever we wasted time in telling in 10 sentences, new generation can grasp it in a very minimalistic thing. Especially in Bombay, I realized that, Bombay is a minimalistic city, which I learned it is like minimalistic thing. I always keep harping about it. See, in other cities, then if you ask somebody, are you going there? He will say, no, I am not going. In some cities, he will say no. But in Bombay, he will say like this. Okay, one gesture. You want to eat? See, this kind of, minimalism, same thing about death, which I have told last time, I think, in one of the talk. If somebody passes away anywhere else, we tell it with a lot of respect. Oh, गुजर गए, भगवान को प्यारे हो गए, अब नहीं रहे, मोन्ने तीरकोंड्रो, he is no more. But Bombay, off हो गए. What a spiritual word it is. He was on, he became off. Simple. Switch on, switch off. And it is not, I am not creating, because my colleague didn't come to work and I phoned him. What क्या हो गया? He said, Jayant, मैं नहीं आ रहा हूँ. पिताजी off हो गया. It liberated me. Is it so simple? Why we make it so complicated? So art, it is when art is nothing but giving eyes to look at this, perceiving life like this. So I think this is enough as a whatever I could share in this moment, because again I thank you again. I don't know, the conversation will be on, but I am really humbled. I am really humbled by the process of the day, and I thank Vardesh, and I request Vardesh to write more, because he is a poet. He is a poet. He has a lot of unwritten poems. So he should take, and you should take revenge on the readers and write all. Okay, fine. So please write, and I am happy you have got very brilliant students, and the space is becoming vibrant and very humane. That's what is required. Thank you.